Alright, so a little bit of a disclaimer. I'm going to be voicing this video over because we filmed this at the park and it was very windy and there were people in the background and the audio quality is not that great, so yeah, just giving you a heads up. Hey guys, my name is Felix and you're watching the unofficial knockoff of Crash Course. Today, we're going to be discussing stereotypes, and to be more specific, we'll be talking about the formation of stereotypes in psychological research. First, what is a stereotype? Well, to be concise, a stereotype is a belief that all members of a group share a common trait. Stereotypes are generally formed based on social cognition and are used as quick ways to make decisions or come to an understanding about something. Basically, your brain makes assumptions about things. Sometimes they over-exaggerate certain traits and generalize it to all members of a group, when in reality this might not actually be true. The explanation of stereotypes which we'll be discussing today is the grain of truth hypothesis, which basically states that stereotypes arise from large overgeneralizations of certain traits that we can observe from personal experiences or things that we just learn from things like authority figures. For example, it could be our parents or teachers, the media that surrounds us, or just like basically anyone that surrounds us. It can be your friends, and basically it just says that like stereotypes begin with a grain of truth. So just like one person had one experience and then from there they overgeneralized it and either passed it on themselves or simply began to see it as a stereotype by themselves or for the people around them. While this hypothesis does provide a plausible explanation for the formation of stereotypes, there is a big problem with it, and that's that it doesn't properly address the problems with attribution when it comes to stereotype. The study we'll be discussing today in order to showcase the formation of stereotypes is basically Katz Braly from 1933, and this study basically aimed to investigate if traditional social stereotypes had a cultural basis in regards to their formation. This sample was composed of 100 male white students from Princeton University. The subjects were given a list of 84 adjectives and then were asked to assign 5 words to each particular ethnic group, with 4 groups being assigned, which were Americans, Jews, Japanese, and African Americans. Surprisingly enough, the results actually showed that there was considerable agreement in the stereotypes, but this was especially true for negative traits. Around 84% of the students said that African Americans are superstitious, around 79% said that Jews were shrewd, and they were all very positive towards their own group, basically showing in-group bias. Since most of the students did not have any personal contact with the members of the ethnic groups that they had to rate, it was basically suggested that these stereotypes were learned. Now, the fact that these stereotypes were shared throughout the group, despite their lack of personal contact with the stereotype groups, indicates that the given stereotypes were actually learned rather than formed from personal experience. This then supports the grain of truth hypothesis, which suggests that stereotypes arise from overgeneralizations that can be either heard from or taught by parents, teachers, medias, and other prominent figures in one's life, even friends, which would be the case if the stereotypes in the in-group were the result of overgeneralizing experiences that were taught or learned, and not overgeneralized from personal experiences since they didn't have any personal contact with the groups.